Hello. I'm gonna give it a second to see if people can come back. I don't know what happened. If you're there. For some reason my Wi-Fi just totally cut out and then re-oned. That's a thing. I think we had 4 friends before. We seem to be hello. Okay, good. I don't know what happened. My Wi-Fi just cut out and just totally turned off and then just didn't reconnect for me, which is strange. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. Hopefully, we had like 4 friends and now we only have 2. So hopefully the whole gang can reunite. I think the last thing I saw was oh, now I only have 1. This is getting worse. Things are bad. The last thing I remember is Miss What's-Her-Face. Catherine fell over a wall. Very unfortunate. Just you and me, Dane. Just a one-on-one. I'll just read to you. How strange. I wonder, I hope no one's still stuck on that old stream. I ended it, so they shouldn't be. Maybe they're just upset with my Wi-Fi. See, all my teas are gone. Catherine just gets into a lot of trouble, but that's literally the only thing to do in like where she lives is like you get into trouble or you read the same 3 books over and over. And I personally go for trouble. Yeah, that's my take on the matter. Excuse me, I'm very snoozy. Perhaps I should take a nap. Mayhaps that would be wise. Oh, we have 3 people. Okay, we're almost there. I feel confident. I feel confident enough to resume reading with 3 people, and whomstever that 4th person is, I hope you find. Oh shit, we lost him again. Whomsoever the 4th person is, I hope they find their way back. No one's texting me, so I don't know what to say about that. So I'm going to start again. Not all the way again. Okay. Her hat falls off. She thumps over the wall. And this is what I recall. But the return was no such easy matter. The stones were smooth and nearly cemented, and the rose bushes and blackberry stragglers could yield no assistance in reascending. I, like a fool, didn't recollect that till I heard her laughing and exclaiming, "Ellen, you shall have to fetch the key, or else I must run around to the porter's lodge. I can't scale the ramparts on this side." Yes, we had to start a new one. I don't know what happened to the older one. For some reason, my Wi-Fi just like totally cut out and then didn't come back in. Don't know what's going on with that. Stay where you are, I answered. I have my bundle of keys in my pocket. Perhaps I may manage to open it. If not, I'll go. Catherine amused herself with dancing to and fro before the door while I tried all the large keys in succession. I'd applied the last and found that none would do, so, repeating my desire that she would remain there, I was about to hurry home as fast as I could when an approaching sound arrested me. It was the trot of a horse. Kathy's dance stopped, and in a minute the horse stopped also. "Who is that?" I whispered. Uh-oh. "Ellen, I wish you would open the door," whispered back my companion anxiously. "Oh, Miss Linton," cried a deep voice, the rider's. "I'm glad to meet you. Don't be in a haste to enter, for I have an explanation to ask and obtain." "I shan't speak to you, Mr. Heathcliff," answered Catherine. "Papa says you are a wicked man, and you hate both him and me, and Ellen says the same." "That is nothing to the purpose," said Heathcliff. He it was. "I don't hate my son, I suppose, and it is concerning him that I demand your attention. Yes, you have cause to blush. 2 or 3 months since, were you not in the habit of writing to Linton? Making love in a play, You deserved, both of you, flogging for that. You especially, the elder and less sensitive, as it turns out. I've got your letters, and if you give me any pertness, I'll send them to your father. I presume you grew weary of the amusement and dropped it, didn't you? Well, you dropped Linton with it into a slough of despond. I want to be in a slough of despond. He was in earnest in love, really. As true as I live, he's dying for you, breaking his heart at your fickleness, not figuratively, but actually. Though Hareton has made a standing jest for 6 weeks, and I have used more serious measures and attempted to frighten him out of his idiocy, he gets worse daily, and he'll be under the sod before summer unless you restore him. How can you lie so glaringly to the poor child? I called from the inside. Pray ride on. How can you deliberately get up such paltry falsehoods? Miss Cathy, I'll knock the lock off with a stone. You won't believe that vile nonsense. You can feel in yourself it is impossible that a person should die for love of a stranger. I was not aware there were eavesdroppers, muttered the detected villain. Worthy Mrs. Dean, I like you, but I don't like your double-dealing, he added aloud. How could you lie so glaringly as to affirm I hated the poor child, and invent bugbear stories to terrify her from my doorstones? Catherine Linton, the very name warms me. Oh, I lost my place. There we go. My bonny lass, I shall be from home all this week. Go and see if I have not spoken the truth. Do, there's a darling. Just imagine your father in my place, and Linton in yours. Then think how you would value your careless lover if he refused to stir a step to comfort you, when your father himself entreated him. And don't, for my pure stupidity, fall into the same error. I swear on my salvation he is going to his grave, and none but you can save him. The lock gave way, and I issued out. I swear Linton is dying, repeated Heathcliff, looking hard at me, and grief and disappointment are hastening his death. Nelly, if you won't let her go, you can walk over yourself. But I shall not return till this time next week, and I think your master himself would scarcely object to her visiting her cousin. Come in, said I, taking Cathy by the arm and half forcing her to re-enter, for she lingered viewing with troubled eyes the features of the speaker, too stern to express his inward deceit. He pushed his horse close, and bending down, observed, Miss Catherine, I'll own to you that I have little patience with Linton, and Hareton and Joseph have less. I'll own he's with a harsh set. He pines for kindness as well as love, and a kind word from you would be his best medicine. Don't mind Mrs. Dean's cool cautions, but be generous, and contrive to see him. He dreams of you day and night, and cannot be persuaded that you don't hate him, since you neither write nor call. I closed the door and rolled a stone to assist the loosened lock in holding it, and spreading my umbrella, I drew my charge underneath, for the rain began to drive through the moaning branches of the trees, and warned us to avoid delay. Our hurry prevented any comment on the encounter with Heathcliff, as we stretched towards home, but I divined instinctively that Catherine's heart was clouded now in double darkness. Her features were so sad they did not seem hers. She evidently regarded what she had heard as every syllable true. The master had retired to rest before we came in. Cathy stole to his room to inquire how he was. He had fallen asleep. She returned and asked me to sit with her in the library. We took our tea together, and afterwards she lay down on the rug and told me not to talk, for she was weary. I got a book and pretended to read. As soon as she supposed me absorbed in my occupation, she recommenced her silent weeping. It appeared at present her favorite diversion. I suffered her to enjoy it a while. Then I expostulated, deriding and ridiculing all Mr. Heathcliff's assertions about his son, as if I were certain she would concede. Alas, I hadn't skill to counteract the effect his account had produced. It was just what he intended. You may be right, Ellen, she answered, but I shall never feel at ease till I know. And I must tell Linton it is not my fault that I don't write, and convince him that I shall not change. What use were anger and protestations against her silly credulity? We parted that night hostile, but next day beheld me on the road to Wuthering Heights, by the side of my wilful young mistress's pony. I could bear I couldn't bear witness to her sorrow, to see her pale, dejected countenance and heavy eyes, and I yielded in the faint hope that Linton himself might prove by his reception of us how little of the tale was founded on fact. And that's the end of that. And that's that on that. Excuse me. Okay, that's all I'm going to read for today. Sorry for the weirdness with my Wi-Fi. I don't know why it cut out. I thought it would come back for a while, but I don't know. I just don't know what happened. And thanks for sticking with me through it. I know that is not always fun and can be confusing and anxiety-inducing. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for checking in. Tomorrow is Friday, so I'll be out at 1. I may be in a different location. We will just have to see. Or I may not, or I may be right here. But I will see you tomorrow for Chapter 9 of Wuthering Heights. So, thanks a bunch. See y'all soon. Oh, my elbow's all red. Interesting. Okay, bye. Woohoo!